Scott from roastercob.com here.
And Seth from theshrinkingpastor.com.
And here happens to be just outside of Nashville, Tennessee, where I am on business. Where are you, boy?
And here is my dining room.
High Point, North Carolina.
High Point, North Carolina. That's right.
Correctly.
Yes.
So, as you can see, we're not able to be together right now, but we realize that we have to be together for this week's episode, which is a bit of a milestone. Boy, what is this? What is this milestone you speak of?
If I've done my math right, and if I haven't messed up the labeling of any of the videos so far, this is episode 200 of Markwood Men's Breakfast Club.
Yay! Okay, so that is a little deceptive. That doesn't mean it is the 200th video.
Yes.
But let's talk about that a little bit later. I want to catch up with you since it's been a while since I've seen you. So
yeah,
what have you been up to?
I have just been working quite a bit. I've been busy at work. We've got some big initiatives going on right now. Some stuff is going on internationally. So I may end up having some opportunities for some international travel, which will be fun. Yeah. So it's time to get a passport finally. But then I've also been celebrating some milestones at home. Augie just turned 3, and he has all of the attitude that you would expect from a 3-year-old. He is both fun and frustrating. He's the middle child, and he's definitely living up to that. He's the one that's going to push all the buttons.
He's such a cute kid.
He is, yeah. And
now,
then,
I saw you shared with me a video of him encouraging his sister to do something. I mean, I was proud of him. He was cheering her on, right, and giving her advice.
Yeah. So I think I cut out part of it, so it looked that way. So I think what was happening is Augie was trying to get into Story. She's 1.5. He was trying to climb up into her crib. But the net result of that exchange was she climbed out of it and had an unexpected and unplanned dismount. So she got up onto the top railing and just fell down. If I remember, I'll try to include the video right here.
And this is, you have a video camera in the room.
Yeah, we have a nanny cam in there. And so we hear, Allison and I kind of wake up to a thud, and Story's crying, and then Allison says, "Story, come here," and we hear footsteps, and then it takes half a second before we both realize we shouldn't be hearing footsteps from her. And I don't know why she said come here in the first place, but we shouldn't have been hearing footsteps, and so Allison jumped up and checked on her. Thankfully, she was fine, even though reviewing the footage, it looked like she absolutely broke an arm or could have really, really hurt herself.
Could have, yeah.
So
wow.
we're grateful for that. It's time to downgrade, I guess, to a big girl bed, so that she can't do that.
so much for having a corral for the kids, huh?
Yeah, well, either that or we're gonna put a lid on top of the the crib.
Did you see the video of that grandmother that had her grandkids in kennels in the back of her car?
No.
She's kind of in trouble now.
Yeah?
But
I don't know. It seems like such a good idea, though.
Yeah, I'm sure they were safe, and they had that little water wheel thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
little hamster.
You throw some wood chips down.
Yeah,
diaper.
Cedar chips.
It's a win-win-win.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So let's see. We just got back from an exciting trip.
Yeah.
And, for those of you who follow me on Instagram, I have a couple Instagram feeds. So I am Aristocob. I am Aristogrub, which is where I put pictures, mostly pictures of food. And I'm also Mr. Tool Hunter. And when I encounter things that are woodworking and interesting to me, I put those pictures there. But you'll find that your mother and I
know her,
Mrs. Aristocob, along with some buddies of ours from Dayton, and all of us being from Dayton, finally made it out to the northern end of the Outer Banks in North Carolina, more importantly to Kitty Hawk. So, being from Dayton, where the Wright brothers are from, it's a logical place. You'd think that when we moved to North Carolina in 1999, it would have been one of the first things we did. But Kitty Hawk and that portion of the Outer Banks is so far away. We can, from High Point, we can be in the mountains in about 3 hours. We can be at Myrtle Beach in South Carolina on the beach in about 3 hours. And it took us almost 6 hours to get there to the Outer Banks on the northern end, because the coast kind of moves away from you as you're heading out that way. Right. And so, other things came in the way before this, and we finally did this, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And man, they didn't fly very far.
No, I remember when we moved here, how interesting that was because of the license plates. In Ohio, many of the license plates were the birthplace of flight. And
right.
then down here in North Carolina, it's first in flight. And right. So, both are right. Apparently when Allison, so Allison recently took the kids, mom took Allison and the kids up to Ohio, and they went to a museum there, and they saw the Wright Flyer.
At Carillon Park.
Yeah.
Right.
Apparently the tour guide there, when she heard that we were from North Carolina, said, "Hey, no fighting now."
Yeah, that's like, staking your claim on what kind of barbecue is best. You just don't want to do that anywhere near North Carolina.
Sorry.
It was really cool. I mean, there's a sand dune there with a monument on top, and they were saying that the sand dune has moved over the years, and it's like 400 and some feet away from where it originally was located. And then it was much higher. So the top of the monument stands where the top of the sand dune was.
Okay.
But the powered flight didn't take place from the sand dune. The sand dunes were used for their gliders and their kites and things for testing. And then on a prairie at the base of it is where they actually did their flight tests, or the actual powered flight. Mm. And so, their first flight was like 100 feet. It's like nothing.
Right.
And they were taking turns on who would fly, and each of them kind of getting a little more skill. And we kind of summarized or theorized that fourth flight that was like 3 times the length of the previous best, they must have said, okay, go ahead and put the medal to her. I mean, it was so much further. They probably decided that this is make or break. Go ahead and do it.
Well, and at that point, you've proven that it's going to work a little bit, and so you're going to get much more bold, I think, pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always been fascinating to me looking back at that, even just a small window of history. I mean, from the beginning of flight to now, and the advancement is just amazing. But even you just take a 5-year window, 10-year window, and the advancements that were made. As soon as they got it, and it just took off.
Yep.
Just absolutely incredible.
Yep, it was very, very cool. So, have you been out there? Have you been to Kitty Hawk?
No, I haven't.
I suggest you do it. We also combined it with visiting a bunch of lighthouses out that way. It's funny, kind of like what we did when we were up in the Amish country in Pennsylvania. We're out here among all this natural beauty, and we want to go see stuff made by people.
Right.
But these old lighthouses were just so cool. Yeah. And then spent some time at a couple of the beaches, and the beaches are unique as you go up and down the coast there, and lots of eating, lots of seafood. So it was a good time.
I heard that you guys about died on a walkway to the beach. I was talking.
I tell you what, it was really tough. My knees are shot, and I have a leg brace on one of my knees, and this was at Cape Hatteras, and they'd moved the lighthouse from the beach because the beach was starting to move up, encroaching on the foundation. So they moved it inland quite a ways. And so we thought, well, let's go see the original site, and that's the beach. And we got out of the car and started walking. And I would say we walked, I don't know, about a quarter mile on sand. And we weren't going uphill or anything, but the sand was really soft. I mean, there was not a moment where you plant your feet and your feet stay where you think they're going to stay. They sink in, they slide off to the side. And by the time we actually got to the water, I was done.
Yeah.
In that particular beach, we didn't bother bringing chairs along or anything like that. I mean, I would have loved to just sat down for an hour and smoked my pipe.
Right.
But we didn't. And that was not pleasant. So anyway.
Mom was telling me about that, and I was reminded we went to a beach up in the northern coast with Josh and Jen, our friends, and I remember the walkway, the entryway into the beach is like that, except it goes up a hill and back down, but the sand is this like almost like powdered sugar consistency. It's that fine. And so you put your foot down and it just sinks 4 inches.
Yeah.
And I remember Josh and I carrying a probably 50-foot canopy tent that we were going to set up for the kids to have some shade, and just trying to carry that while going up. It's a miracle I got out.
At one point I watched a kid pass me, and I observed that his feet were also sinking into the sand. So I didn't feel so bad. I'm like, am I that big? Yeah, I'm sinking so much. That's the way it was there.
It's one of those things where I think snowshoes would actually be helpful.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Well, and I only had my tennis shoes with me. I didn't bring any flip-flops or water shoes or anything like that. So it was either wear my shoes or go barefoot. And I went barefoot, and it was so hot.
Yeah.
I'm complaining here. It's just that part of the experience. If given the choice between hanging out in the Smoky Mountains or going to the beach, I will take the mountains any day.
Yeah, me too.
That's just I'm just not in the mood to be out in the bright sun and the glare off the water and all that.
Yeah.
And I like it. I just don't like it that much.
Yeah, me too.
So a little bit about what's happened with our channel, if you don't mind. We posted a video for the last 2 weeks, one where we smoked a cigar that we cut off into the pipe, and the other one we ground up that cigar. And I think probably one of the most helpful suggestions was that we should try smoking a pipe in a cigar.
All right, we can do that.
So I'm thinking we're going to give that a try when I get back home.
Yeah. Sounds good.
No, that was really fun. And the comments that we got on that were great. We love the interaction, and you interacting with each other in the comments is a lot of fun too. So we definitely encourage you to do that. But let's go to this analytics that maybe it's a little bit too much inside baseball, but we don't ever look at that stuff.
I don't know what that's a sports reference, and I don't
either. You know, YouTubers, people that are actually active on YouTube, one of the things they do is they look at these results of how many viewers they have, how many subscribers they have. And we don't really pay much attention to that. Every now and then we'll pull that up just to see what's happening. And are we growing or losing numbers and things like that. So when that happens, it's kind of fun to see. And I asked Seth in preparation for this that maybe we could talk a little bit about that. And the first one being that I said, okay, this is episode number 200, but it's not video number 200. Would you explain why that's the case?
Yes, except I didn't pull up the actual number, but yeah. So we have done episodic videos since November 10th of 2013. So 4 years, 8 months, and 3 days. And that's when we decided to do videos in an episode. Allison, my wife, wanted to go back and watch the very first video we did, the episode 1. I highly recommend that you do not do that.
Yeah, thank you. Good advice.
Although,
but video number 1, as I recall, we were singing Sir Walter Raleigh in a Cobb.
Yeah, it was, but episode 1 is just terrible. And they probably haven't improved much, but it was cringy to go back and see.
Hey, our number 1 fan would point out that no, we haven't improved because they've gotten much, much longer.
Yeah, it's 100%. Yeah. But speaking about going back and watching old videos, there was a comment in this week's video or last week's video that I love. John Galdiri, I apologize if I'm saying your last name wrong, said, "Love the channel. I've been watching all your older episodes, starting with the first one. Again, I would not recommend that you follow in John's footsteps here. I'm up to episode 40, I think. John, that's incredible. That's a task. I was in them and I wouldn't watch them again. I barely enjoyed actually filming them. So good on you for doing that. That's great. Thank you for watching.
I wonder if his situation is similar to the Northern Bohemian, who I now refer to as our number one fan, where I'm assuming that he must have autoplay stuck on and has not learned how to turn it off.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. And so,
what are we looking at? Is Allie down there?
No, no, but Augie's coming downstairs. So we have 381. This will be the video 382. So almost twice as many actual videos on the channel as we have episodes of Markwood's Breakfast Club. A big part of that is because 125 of those are tobacco advent videos, where we do 25 videos every December, a video every day from December 1st to the December 25th. And we've done that for 5 years. And then a lot of them are just one-offs, or maybe we're at a pipe show, or maybe, in fact, some of them are videos where we're just saying, hey, there's not going to be a video. There's not going to be a video this week.
Those are some of Northern Bohemian's favorite ones.
Yeah. So we've got a lot more videos in the 200, but as far as the two of us sitting down and spending this time together, where we're just filming in an episode format, just doing this, it's really amazing. When we started in the early days, we didn't have any plan really for what this would be, and still we don't have a great plan.
Or how long we would do it.
Can I please get you water? Come here. Will you say hi to Daddy's friends?
Hi. Hi, Digger. How you doing, buddy? Hi.
Are you good? Yeah. He gets asleep.
He's looking tired. Right.
I'm going to get him some water real quick. Keep going.
Okay. You do that. I'll keep talking. All right. So, and to Boy's point there, we had literally no idea. All we knew was it was hard for us to get time together. And it seemed like an interesting idea to get together in our shop, smoking pipes and chatting and catching up like we did at the beginning of this video. My work travels take me to a lot of places and away from home a lot. And so without videos like this, I rarely get to catch up with Seth's part of the family, Boy, as we call him. Even though we live only 18 miles apart, I don't get to see him enough. So this has been a lot of fun for me to have that time with Boy. So, while you gather up some stats, I do want to put one more plug in for not only if you're into Instagram, checking out those 3 feeds. Also, I have another channel here on YouTube called Aristogrub. And while we were on the Outer Banks, my wife was sick. And so we were Anyway, we were stuck at our condo one morning waiting for her to sleep off whatever she was feeling. And our friends are kind of Dunkin' Donuts snobs. And we brought along some K-Cups for Dunkin' Donuts and some K-Cups for Krispy Kreme and some generic ones that I buy from a local grocery store, Lidl. We've talked about Lidl before because they also, from time to time, get tools and other interesting things. While most of those coffees are in K-Cups about, let's say, $10 a box, the Lidl ones are like $3.50. Now, I think there's maybe 12 cups or capsules, K cups instead of maybe 16. So you got to do the math on that. But still, they're cheap. They're like at least less than half the price.
Hmm.
And it was fun. We did a blind taste test between all those to see what they would think of them. Have you seen that video, boy?
I have. Don't tell them the results. They got to go watch it.
Don't give it away. But it was a lot of fun, and it helped to kill some time.
Hey, there was another video you did recently, I think on Aristocob, where you were shooting some knockoff Nerf darts with coworkers, and you had a theory about the tabs being some sort of a flow restrictor, and you were going to pull those off.
Yeah.
Did you ever pull those off and film a follow-up?
I pulled them off, and no, I did not film a follow-up. It was one of those things. I don't have a channel for modding Nerf products, and there's several people who already have done that. And the answer is, yeah, they went much further. Both of them went much further with the center restrictor. It looks like it's a tool that's needed for that thing to fly off straight. It doesn't need that. The muzzle of the gun will guide it straight. Mm-hmm. It's just there to restrict it. And so, yeah, broke those off with a needle nose plier, and much better.
That's terrifying, because I remember those are the same guns that Marcy bought for us for Christmas, and we were hurting each other with.
Yes, yeah, those are the exact same guns. Yeah, very powerful.
Yeah,
a lot of fun. But I now work for the HR department, and one of those people is the head of the HR department, and so I decided that maybe I should let this one go.
Yeah. So on this 200th video, we just want to take a second and really say thank you for being a part of this cool opportunity, journey. I don't know. I think if there was nobody watching, it would be a little bit less exciting for us to do this. But I like to think that we would still get together and do this. But we certainly love seeing comments and the engagement, the questions, and we're always open to crazy ideas. I definitely want to do it.
Insults.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely want to go back and try to blend some of the cigar tobacco with Wayne 1Q or something else and do a taste test there. And people have asked about ghosting, and I think that we didn't talk about it because it's really too. We haven't smoked anything else in the pipe.
It's too soon, right?
It's too soon to know if it has ghosted or not. So I think that you'll see us come back to that as a continued experiment. But just some of the stats that are just absolutely mind-boggling. And in our channel on the pantheon of YouTube channels is really small. But over the lifetime of the channel, which is 4 years, 8 months, we now have over 2,000 subscribers. Thank you for that.
Awesome.
We have over 186,000 views, which I can't even wrap my mind around. I just want to ask why, but then also say thank you.
I know my mom watches. I can't imagine she's watching that much.
Well, and again, it's probably a couple of people, their autoplay is stuck on a loop or something.
Yes.
They've got a phone plugged in that fell behind the dresser that's just continuing to play. And then lifetime 1.4 million minutes watched. And I ran the math on that. It's 2.6 years, over 2.5 years of total time of minutes watched of these videos. And so, it's humbling. It's cool. I don't know if it says anything else beyond that, but I have said before, I appreciate the opportunity that YouTube, that the pipe community has afforded me to have an excuse to get together and film with my dad, and to have these stories, these conversations that we get to share, these moments where we've been able to record with my grandfather, to talk about family, talk about some struggles, talk about successes. It really is something that I will cherish as an archive, really.
Yeah. And you think about even the times leading up to when we get together, whether we're talking on the phone or texting or boxing or out to dinner with our families, and you and I pull a few minutes of discussion. What are we going to talk about? Even that has been fun and wouldn't have happened if we were not doing this, right?
Yeah.
Some of the things we've laughed about that we've decided we better not talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, no, that's fantastic.
I think should we talk about the other milestone that we were discussing earlier?
Sure, why not? Yeah.
So the other milestones, another milestone for me to share this evening. A couple weeks ago, we talked about how we were doing a ketogenic diet, and I've hit my first goal weight, and I'm now have been below my first goal weight for enough days that I feel confident in saying that I'm there. I'm below it. I was kind of teetering back and forth for a while, but all told, since April 6th, I'm down 43 pounds.
Wow.
43 pounds.
That's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So, and 53 pounds since where I was in August of last year. So, and this is just the beginning.
Well, I officially started about 2 years ago trying to lose weight, and have worked through a couple different diets to get to that. People talk about exercise and things being so critical. Yeah, that's great when you can actually do that. I mean, you see me here sitting around a lot, or in my van on my channel. I can't walk a lot. I've got bone on bone with both of my knees, and you should have seen me today at the airport trying to get from baggage claim with 2 checked bags and my attaché with 2 computers and a tablet in it, trying to walk to my rental car. I mean, it was sad. So sad that some poor schmuck on a golf cart felt pity on me and picked me up, and thankful that he did. But I just pulled up on MyFitnessPal here. Since 2 years ago, I'm down 61 pounds. Now, I've got to get down 100 from 2 years ago. So I got 40 pounds to lose yet to get my knees done. And I'm really looking forward to that. But since January 20th, when I decided that it was time to change my approach and go to low carb, I'm down 32 pounds.
Wow.
So half of that weight has been in the last,
recently,
4 months. So.
And I think it's worth noting too, for me, this is the lowest I have weighed in 5 years, easily, or almost 6 years. I'm now below the number I was when Ender was born, and that's the last time I really paid any attention to my weight.
Wow, good for you.
And for you, it's even longer time than that, right?
I'm the lowest I've been since we've lived in North Carolina, which was 1999. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I've exchanged 3 different pant sizes now, and wearing some fashion that I never felt really comfortable in, and so wearing jeans to work, which is permitted now, but I hadn't worn jeans because big man jeans are so stupid. They're so baggy. They say, well, if your waist is this big, the rest of you must also be huge.
It doesn't matter how they're cut; they're not comfortable, and they don't fit well. And
I've got some to do, and I've been pleased with those. So less. It's funny because as a big guy, you wear baggy clothes because you don't want things clinging to you, and that makes you self-conscious. But yet, it also makes you look bigger, right? Mm-hmm. So it's all up in our brains, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, we're doing what's right for our bodies, and I'm glad you're having positive effects with it as well. Just tonight, let me find my cup here. I just got back to the hotel from Martin's barbecue joint.
Yeah.
Really, really good barbecue. I had smoked chicken wings with Alabama white sauce, and I also got a a pulled pork sandwich that I ate off the bun, and they have two options. You can get pulled pork shoulder, or they do a whole hog there that they chopped up, and that's what the one I went with. It's really, really good. And yeah, and I'm on a diet. So.
I know, it's crazy. I have a hard time with barbecue since you can't really do much by way of sauce. And
Yes.
so, it can be dry. And even when it's not dry, like when it's really fatty, it can still be difficult to do in a quantity.
Do you remember that Alabama white sauce that I made for the
Yes.
chicken?
Yes, I do.
It's absolutely low carb.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's basically mayonnaise and lemon juice and vinegar.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense.
And horseradish and some seasonings. I mean,
yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, some things are, like Buffalo Wild Wings, for instance, has a couple of their flavors are pretty low. You can get by with 10 carbs for 20 wings there with their spicy garlic and Parmesan garlic. Some of the other stuff. But yeah, like I ate steak and asparagus tonight. I didn't eat anything today. I wasn't hungry all day. Worked through lunch, just was busy and wasn't thinking about it. And for dinner had asparagus and a steak, a New York strip, and like, man, this is just amazing. Like this is diet food. It shouldn't be. It doesn't feel like it should be. And because of the keto, I'm just not hungry most of the time, and so it's great. So it's really
we did stop for lunch. I had nothing for breakfast, and then we got into town. Stopped for lunch at a hamburger place called Grounded or Ground. I think it's called Ground, and got a burger with no bun, and it had bacon and cheese on it, and also very good.
Yeah,
didn't post that on Instagram. I should post it on Instagram. It was really good. Yeah. Not on Aristocob, but at Aristocob.
Can't keep them straight.
Now, I do that on purpose because I was posting enough pictures on the Aristocob feed and getting enough comments about how, oh boy, you're really eating, you should try doing this or that, from well-meaning people, but people who don't know me and who really know me from pipe smoking.
Right.
And I decided I'm gonna separate that part of my life, and as much as I can, post the food stuff over there on Aristogrub. And the same thing was true of woodworking things. I was commenting on people's woodworking channels or feeds, and it almost looked like I'm a spammer because the Aristocob feed is not woodworking. Right. So I created the Mr. Tool Hunter feed specifically so that makes sense for folks. So
yeah,
weird dude. Too many interests.
You like to collect things, including usernames.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't we wrap this up?
But
let's wrap it up with one more time thanking everyone who watches this. I know not everybody subscribes to our channel who actually watches our channel. You can do something about that. You can click subscribe and click the little bell because YouTube wants you to subscribe to a channel twice before they really think you're subscribed.
Yeah.
We don't monetize this channel, so we're just happy to have you here, and interact with us in the comments below.
Yeah, and hopefully for the next one we'll be back together. I think we'll be able to work that out.
That would be cool.
Might continue the maybe we'll try the pipe and a cigar.
A pipe and a cigar.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do the other one first.
Okay.
All right, boy. The rest of you guys, make it a great week. Good to see you, son.
Thanks. Bye.